These businesses are our babies. We would never leave our baby unattended. So we have to think about that with our business too.
Or the horror of having to go get a job. That's the biggest motivator for a lot of entrepreneurs.
Definitely. That's like breaking the bottom.
That's the equivalent of somebody coming to get the kid.
Yeah.
What I see a lot is just because it is a slower time, one of the things that all three of us are very intentional about is not only do we want to be focused in on the books, focused in on the taxes, but we really want to help clients build wealth through their business.
Welcome to Those Odd Numbers podcast. My name is Jason Snider. I'm the founder and CEO of Main Street Financial Group. We are your fractional finance team.
I'm Summer McFarlen. I'm a CPA and certified tax coach. I'm also the co-owner of Main Street Tax Group, where we do strategic tax planning so you can keep more of what you earn.
I am Masheka Turner, and I am the owner of Bright Skies Business Services. We are your outsourced accounting firm and profit first strategies. And we are here to help you create wealth through your business by gaining clarity around your numbers. Hello there, and welcome to another episode of These Odd Numbers. I am Masheka Turner, and I am joined by Jason Snider and Summer Mc. And today we're going to be talking about how to handle seasonality in your business. So I know that it's summer months, and we're headed into the summer months. And for a lot of my clients, sometimes they tend to check out a little bit. So today we're going to be talking about what we can be doing during that time so that when we go back into our busy season, that we are prepared and not overwhelmed. Let's get into it.
Here we go. Yeah, it's going to be a good topic. This crosses, I think, everybody's portfolio of businesses. Everybody, I think, experiences some seasonality factors. And obviously, we've got big proponents of profit first as part of that. So that'll be a big part of our conversation today.
Yes. One of the reasons why I really wanted to explore this topic is, as you guys know, that I mostly work with med spa owners, weight loss clinics, things like that. And my business or my client's business tends to be slow sometimes in the summer months. And so I'm in a network of other people that serve these clients, and we just were seeing it across the board. And so that led to this conversation of, I know that it's hard because everybody's in vacation mode and everybody just want to chill for the summer, but these businesses are our babies, and we would never leave our baby unattended. So we have to think about that with our business too.
Or the horror of having to go get a job. That's the biggest motivator for a lot of entrepreneurs.
Definitely. That's like breaking the bottom.
That's the equivalent of somebody coming to get the kid.
Yeah.
What I see a lot is, just because it is a slower time, one of the things that we are, I think all three of us are very intentional about is not only do we want to be focused in on the books, focused in on the taxes, but we really want to help clients build wealth through their business. And that is very intentional. And we can't just lay it down for 3 or 4 months just because there's other things going. Because for the audience that's using Profit First is an ongoing thing. It's not a set and one and done. We want to make sure that, especially when the revenue is not as high as normal, that we're really tapped into the allocations. Because a lot of times, if you're not making as much money, maybe those tax allocations are not going to be the same. Maybe there needs to be adjustments with payroll. But are we really tapping into that to really make decisions for a profitable year? Because even though we're talking about summer months, the year end is in December. So we want to be profitable throughout the rest of the year.
Dive into some of the techniques, and these will obviously vary depending on your particular industry and your business and things. But a couple of things, since we serve a lot of e-commerce clients, they have varying seasonality factors because many of them have products that are focused on summer outdoor events and things like that. And one of the things we talk about is work on the things that need to get done during the slow season, because you're not going to be able to do it during the slow season. And then for them, that's making sure their product catalog is profitable, that the products that they're highlighting and advertising to are driving revenue, the profitable revenue that you're looking for, optimizing your SEO campaigns. A lot of that's very tedious work, at least in today's environment. That might change with AI, but still, I think it's still going to require the entrepreneur or business owner to be the one managing that, whether AI is doing the work or you're doing it manually, it still takes time and focus. And you don't want to be doing that in your peak season when your revenue is 250% of normal versus some other slow time of the year, let's say January, for outdoor equipment, that's going to be their slowest time is probably that January, February time. And so that's the time to focus on things and prepare for the busy season. That includes hiring people. So if you're going to replace somebody on your team, wait till, if at all possible, till that January, February time, because then you can onboard them and properly train them. Other thing is work on your SOPs. So if you have team members, now's the time. That is the time to work on those things during your slow season. So when that time comes, you're not scrambling if all of a sudden one of your team members is out sick or quits or whatever the situation is, you're not scrambling trying to fix things. And then we'll talk more about this as well, but the top first allocations are there for those things. So when we work on building the allocation schedule, we're doing a 12-month review to capture that seasonality. So if it's working and done correctly as far as the forecasting, then your account balances are going to increase over that period of time, and then they're going to draw down over the slow season as well. And I know summer is a good allegory with the tax season, which is widely variable. It's not a single season, it's two, sometimes three big peak seasons for on the tax side.
Yep. Yeah. The tax world is very seasonal unless you do other things and have bookkeeping and some other service streams of income. But I'm pretty much 100% tax. We do a little bit of light bookkeeping for people. My busy season it starts in January. It starts ramping up in January when we're helping people with 1099s and those kind of things. But then it is hard and heavy February, March, and to April 15th. And then a little bit beyond that as well, even though not as bad. And then it slows down in the summer and then it ramps up again when school starts. And then it is, if you're doing taxes, it's pretty much non-existent in November and December, unless there's something unusual that you're working with, like a disaster or something like that. And some due dates got extended. So yeah, we all three are Profit First professionals and use the Profit First system in our business. And I was explaining to Masheka and Jason, Masheka was wondering how it worked for me. And I said, well, my accounts, my tax account, my owner's pay, my OPEX account, they kind of get loaded up during the heavier months, right? February, March, April. And then again in August and September, October, kind of that where the extension deadlines are up. So I kind of at the end of April, I kind of look at those accounts and I go, oh, there's some nice money sitting in there. But I just made a pact with myself. You're just going to be disciplined and you're not going to bonus anything to you or anything during this time because you probably are going to need that money in December and November, December and January. And yeah, sure enough. And then if you got extra money then and you're kind of through those lower revenue times, then you can feel free to bonus yourself out something or something like that. That's how I handle the seasonality in that and the income coming in. I don't get crazy and I don't spend it. And then I think the second thing is we do look for some alternative services to offer to bring in money during those slow times. For instance, anytime actually after April 15th through August 15th, 1st of August, something like that, when school gets back, it's a great time to do some tax planning. And then again, we call it tax planning season, actually, October 16th through, about half of December kind of time frame, at least for my business, because we like to take 2 weeks off in between the Christmas and New Year's season. We like to close down and take some time off. And I've been doing that for years. I love it. I don't ever want to not do it. So it's a policy that will continue. So that's how I work through my seasonality. Any questions?
No, I love it. I think that's a great example. And one of the things that I really love is that you are intentional about paying yourself.
Oh,
And
yeah.
paying yourself on a regular schedule. Because as we know with these businesses, it is so easy to get into the mode of everything and everybody getting paid except the business owner. I love it that you're very intentional about paying yourself because I don't have to say this, but I will say it is very hard to stay motivated if you're in entrepreneurial poverty. So
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
That's the part. Oh, yeah. Oh, I have definitely been there. So I love it that you're really tapping into. And again, that's why I love the Profit First system so much because it works. It works is if you're in a high season or if you're in a low season, it's just a matter of making the adjustments and doing the allocation. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I really love it.
Yeah, for sure. And again, the beauty of the profit first system is it works very well with cash building up and then it's there when you need it and you can continue to pay yourself and things like that. So, yeah.
And that's one thing maybe there's some techniques around that. That might be a future episode of Owner's Pay and how to manage that cycle so you don't fall into the trap of, hey, really busy season, I can give myself a bonus. You don't want to get caught in the scenario that Summer was just describing, thinking that you did well and not being aware that you're likely going to have revenue decreases compared to the current months that you're looking at, and therefore maintain that discipline of the owner's pay, because that's usually where the problems occur. Experience where there's an assumption because we got all this money now after paying payroll and whatever other expenses in their mind that they think they've already covered, that, hey, this is available, I can do with whatever I want now because it's profit left over.
Yeah.
And so this is, you definitely don't, even those who are practicing profit first, that is one of the things to be mindful of, is don't step outside of that determined amount that you have for owner's pay. When you have seasonality involved, it's intended to go up and down with that. Or if you're doing a reserve, in the sense of proving it during the strong times, and then if you want to maintain a salary amount throughout the year, that's the same. Let it build up and then let it draw down for that seasonality period, so you can maintain that dollar amount that you want, that your business can support and pay. And then, like I said, I think we might have a good discussion on a future episode about calculating owner's pay and the factors that you should be paying attention to, especially if you're trying to do your own first allocations and manage that on your own.
Yeah. And I'll be totally transparent. Before I started Profit First, I went many in November, December, and January without getting paid. And that's not fair to me for the work I'm doing for the company. And it's not fair to my family.
I love it. If you don't mind saying, how long were you in business before you implemented Profit First?
I implemented Profit First in 2020, and I did pay myself all of 2019 too. I had finally started getting a grasp on my money and getting some sense about it. But I was, Profit First in 2020. And that's when I gave myself a raise and paid myself every payroll. So it was life changing.
Awesome.
And then a couple other things for seasonality factors, again, is focusing on the things that support your operations during the busy time. Whatever those different things. I explained a little bit about on our e-commerce clients. I think, Masheka, you had some ideas, I think, around some of your clients that you work with, of things that they could work on. Look for those opportunities that almost like doing deferred maintenance or things on your business structure, just to keep it in good shape when the busy season comes, so it doesn't become an extra stress and then potentially a reduction in revenue because you weren't ready and prepared for it. I think you had a good allegory as well, Masheka.
Yep. It was more along the line of the same thing. Even though it's a slow season, when things are a little bit slower and you have time to breathe, you can really get a look at things. And so now may be a good time to look at operations. Now may be a good time to look at processes, because the thing about it is payroll costs money. Payroll always costs money. And so we want to make sure that we're getting the most out of that, looking at the processes. It's also a great time to go through your vendor list. See, maybe there are some discounts that can be had. Maybe there's a rule nothing out. Rule nothing out, because again, a lot of times we're so caught up in the day-to-day. If you actually have a few minutes to breathe, really tap into some of those areas of the business that maybe you don't always have the time for.
If you've got a extra employee or two hanging around getting paid that maybe doesn't have that much to do, that might be a good time to send them out to the warehouse or the storage room for a good cleanup. It's not the fun thing to do, but it's got to be done. So you might as well do it. I know when I first started working at an accounting firm, every December, they would make us go through our office, file away the old papers that were sitting around and just go through everything and straighten up and clean. And if you're a cleaner and you like to do that, you're very satisfied at the end. If you don't like to do that, then you're just glad when it's over. And they bring in lunch for us too. You can make it fun.
I came from corporate accounting, so it was the same thing. The way I looked at it, it all pays the same.
Yeah, I guess the discipline part of it is, I know what I was going to do with it, was make a list on a regular basis of all the things that you're doing. And that doesn't mean you need to take action on it. Those things that you need to be doing, then you have something to reference back to on that. So what I was going to say is be disciplined about your approach, including making those notes in a notebook or wherever you want to document it, so that later when the slower revenue times come or you have more space to do some of these things, then you already got an active list that's ready to tap into for those things to be done.
I agree.
Anything else we want to add to this?
I think we've covered this topic pretty good. It's actually going to be maybe maybe not a part two, but we actually do want to expand it further on this conversation.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're going to do, I think our next episode is honing in on our profitable customers and doing more about that, which is obviously something to be worked on during your slow season as well, fine tuning your customer base. So, well, I think we're going to do a deep dive on that next episode. So, listen to next.
Yes. So I think that'll be a great follow up. This has been great. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and we will see you guys on the next episode.
Thanks, everyone.
Hi, everyone. This content is for general informational purposes only and is based on current law and guidance as of the date of recording. Tax law and regulations are subject to change. This discussion should not be considered tax, legal, or investment advice. Listeners should consult their own tax or financial professional regarding their specific situation.